Okay, here we are back at another Calm Mama Confessions. And on this episode, I'm talking with my friend and colleague, Jennifer Delliquadri, who I've had on the regular podcast before. She is a life coach. She used to focus primarily on coaching teens, but now she's coaching women in midlife. And I thought it was perfect to talk to her about this confession because it really has to do with midlife. So in this episode, we talk about estrogen and the role it plays in the mothering mind and the motherhood mind. I also get really tender and vulnerable in this episode where I share a little bit about how I kind of spun myself down into a pretty deep hole of negative thinking and how I got myself out of that hole. So I share a little bit about where that all that anxiety and regret and comparison and low self-esteem and all of these negative feelings that I was having and these negative thoughts, where they came from. And then I share how I got myself out of that hole. So I think you're really going to love this episode of Calm Mama Confessions. Okay. Hi, Jen.
Hey.
I wanted to share with you, my friend and I were talking why women in midlife give less fucks. And then I had this big realization, and that realization sent me into a total spiral.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you
I
curious?
cannot wait. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay. I have some notes. So, okay. This is how it started. I was with my friend Danielle, who's been on the confessions. And I was saying to her about this healing series that I had done on the regular podcast. And I was like, yeah, I just flippantly said something like, I want women to feel inner peace. Okay. So big, giant goal, but I was like, I want women to feel inner peace. And then she was like, I think it's impossible while you're raising kids to have inner peace because she said it's only possible in one's 50s. She was about to say something. I don't know. She was going to read me like an Instagram post or something. And I cut her off. I realized this thing about estrogen. So there's a lot about estrogen and how estrogen is so important for our bodies. It's like, the magic hormone for women. And it significantly drops as at once we stop ovulating, right? Like it's like you don't have a lot of estrogen when you're little, and then you go through puberty, and then you have like kind of a very consistent amount throughout your childbearing years. And then at some point it is like it's just over. And I was thinking about her thought about how you can't have inner peace until you're in your 50s. And I was like, is it true that we struggle with feeling at peace while we are still childbearing? And I was just, the epiphany for me was like, we are primates, right? We're animals. We're supposed to create the next generation. Like, that's like, we have this drive to procreate. And it's like a biological imperative, right? And that's estrogen drives us that way. Then I was like, but what the hell happens? Because like you get to a point where you're like, these are my, first you have to get a mate, right? So that's like, there's a lot of spending time in your 20s and 30s or however to be attractive, to look good, to be the right kind of woman, to be pretty and thin and like look right, whatever cultural thing that looks like for your group that you're trying to attract, whether that's like financial success or like from a good family, whatever, right? So there's the first part of our life where we are trying to attract a mate and we want the best one we can so that we can make the best babies, right?
Right.
That's like the whole mammal mating thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I just actually saw this.
Following.
I
Yes.
saw this with ducks actually because, ducks mate for a season and they stay the same pair for the whole spring or whatever. And there was a group of like 5 or 6 male ducks coming into my pool. Like a big flock of ducks like, come into my pool. And there was one female. They were all chasing her,
Okay.
trying to get her to mate with them. And then the strongest one is the one that mated with her. It's like I watched the whole thing. I have it on video.
Oh,
Uh,
fun.
Yeah, it was crazy. I like yelled at the birds. It was a
You're like,
whole thing.
stop
Yeah, I
it.
did. I was like, get off of her.
She doesn't want you.
But then when it was over, she like kind of fluffed out. I don't know. She was like, yeah, I got the best one. I got the strongest one or whatever. Okay. So anyway, then we want to create our offspring. And then we want to get mated well, we want to create with. So then we want to like make sure our offspring's really good, right? Like you got to get the right nutrition and the right friends and all of that is so that they can be prepared for the next mate.
Right.
Like, I don't know, it's not that epiphany thing, but for me, I was like, holy shit. When you spend what, 25 for me, 25 to 50 or whatever, like trying to attract a mate, mating. Then I got him. Okay, fine. And then I was like, oh my God, I got to make sure that they are successful in the next mating ritual of whatever that looks like. So I got to set these kids up. And I think that existential feeling that moms have that I work with, that
Mhm.
is what they are struggling with. It's
Yeah.
primal. I need to do right by my children so
Mhm.
that they can have the best access, not just economic, but like also I just feel like it's primal. I don't know.
Yeah. So that they can be successful, they can be strong, healthy members of society.
And probably the primal part of it is for mating.
Yeah. So that they can procreate.
Yeah, or partner with the right type of mate.
Survival of the species.
A little bit, right? I think estrogen
On a basic level, yes.
plays this huge part in our need to strengthen the species.
Yeah.
And then it drops, right? Like, then you're like,
Mhm.
I don't know. And it's like with like my kids, Link, Sawyer is now 19 and my youngest, like, I'm like, I did the damn thing. Like I raised them. I poured it all in. I made it well. We made a good nest. Nurtured the nest. They were real strong. They launched from the nest and like I did it.
Right.
And then the whole not giving any more fucks is about, look, I don't have to work so fucking hard to make it good for everybody.
It's no longer my responsibility to make sure the species survives.
Correct. Like, I don't know. I don't even have to keep attracting my mate.
No. Why? We're not having any more kids.
Yeah. I mean, and like, your desire, your sexual libido ends, like just a lot of stuff happens, right? And I don't know. It's fascinating to me. So then I was like, well, that's why women in their 50s give less fucks, is
Mhm.
because they don't have to work so fucking hard
Right.
to make it great for others, either for themselves so they look right and good and like acceptable. So they get a mate, but then also they have to like make sure that their kids get a
Uh-huh.
lot of positive attention and like they look good so that we can keep that social group going for our children so that they can also be set up so that they
Right.
can have a good future. And then you go, okay, we did it.
Yeah.
That's why I think of it as retirement
Yeah.
because
For
that
sure.
part I'm done with.
You've done that. You've done your job
Mm-hmm.
as the female,
Mm-hmm.
as the mom. You've done your job. And now you can have no fucks to give.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is like, I think that's a big part of, well, what's my purpose now? Is it selfish to focus on myself? I think we don't have as much drive because
Mhm.
we've been tired. We spent all this energy pouring into this ourselves first and then the next generation. A lot of it has been on the external. A lot of it has been performative. You hyper focus on grades, enrichment, opportunity, how they look, especially in adolescence, braces, acne, clothes, makeup, haircuts, when it gets into colleges, like,
Thriving.
yes, right. We want them to like arrive.
Yeah.
I wrote, it's primal, it's existential.
Yeah.
And I wrote that it's very cool. And I wrote, but this has thrown me into a self-esteem slash self-worth crisis.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know. I feel very vulnerable to share it.
No, but listen. when you are no longer responsible for doing all of those things, and you also physiologically do not have the energy to do it anywhere, and you don't have any fucks to give, what can you give a fuck about? And what's left is you.
Yes. Well, this is my actual crisis is I stood at this threshold of this realization and I had crippling anxiety that I did not do it well.
Mm.
Like, that's why I'm saying it's so vulnerable because I was like, oh my God. I started to do comparison, looking at all my friends and how well they did at the and like looking at their kids and it was just awful. I was in this place where I was like, okay, so if that's all true and you do all the things and you look the good part and you mate the well and you make the babies and you make the good nest and you produce the good offspring and then you get done and like, woo, no more fucks. Okay, yay. And I was
Uh,
like, I did it wrong. I did it bad.
I
I'm
fucked
not
it.
good enough. I've never been good enough. I didn't do it right. Everybody did it better. Everyone knew better. They were all set up better. They came from better nests. They made better nests. They launched better offspring. It was awful.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah, I was just in this like very old pattern
Mhm.
of you didn't do it right, you didn't do it well, and you ruined it.
Yeah, you're a
Hmm.
big fat failure.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it's over. You don't even
Right.
have any more
You failed,
estrogen.
it's over. There's nothing you can do
You
about it.
don't even have any more estrogen.
Right? You're just like, you're a piece of shit.
It's
That sounds like
done.
a lovely experience.
It was really, really hard. I was
Yeah.
like, my experience as a child did not set me up for the best mate. Like, I just went deep, deep, deep. And yeah, I have a crushing sense of failure. I just felt horrible. But I then, because I'm a good coach,
Right. Yes. Where did we go with this? I want to
yeah.
know where we
But
are
I
now.
guess I wanted to normalize it first. Like, I was just like, oh,
Hmm.
these crises come.
Yeah.
Like, they come.
Of course they do.
And it's like, doesn't matter how much work you've done, where you started, where you are now. It's like there's always some little comparison going to show up or a little bit of, criticism or somebody says something that hurts. Like it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Pain is there. It's part of it.
It's that seed that was planted long, long ago in whatever area that you're not good enough. And it's
Mhm.
just echoes of the memory that come up in different
Mhm.
forms over and over
Mhm.
and over.
Mhm. Yeah. Because I do think that we get that these crises happen and then we get to this point where we're like, we don't know how to get out of it. But I think we can get out of it if we just normalize, yep, okay,
Minute.
we're in
Yeah.
one. I'm in a
Minute.
little pain point. I found a place of discomfort. Something to explore, a place to go back to like what I'm calling the hierarchy of healing. Like I need to practice radical self-love. I need to practice radical listening, radical honesty, radical acceptance. Like, I need to get to this place where I just deeply love myself in the pain.
Yeah.
And I had done this very deep dive into this hierarchy of healing on the podcast the previous 6 weeks. And then I'm like slammed into a moment of deep pain. And I was like, I'm going to use my tools.
I know. Huh, what a novel idea.
Whoa, I think I'm going to practice radical self love.
I'm going to do
Um,
what I think other people should do. I'm going to
yes,
use it for myself.
yes. And it's like the love that I offered to myself was, hey, baby, you did a great job. Like, and then I looked for evidence of that being true. Like,
Yeah.
you have a great relationship with your kids. They want to come home. They are both, doing well in school ish. They have decent self-esteems. They're fairly good looking. I don't know. I have no control over that. They weren't even born of me. But they're pretty well groomed. They
Okay.
shave, they take showers.
Uh-huh.
Uh, like, they've got pretty cute smiles. I just started to look for evidence of it being okay. And I was like, I wrote, I am exceptional. My children are exceptional. And I wrote, maybe I didn't do all the right things. Maybe I should have focused on grades and sports and whatever. And then I was like, but for a girl whose nest was basically non existent, I built a fucking great nest.
Yeah.
And I just found it to be true. I was like, you know what? I did the damn thing and I did it as best I could and it was great and it's fine. Like, oh, because what else am I supposed to do?
Right. You went from I'm a big fat failure to look at what I created based on where I came from. And both things felt true to you,
Mhm.
but one thing felt better to you.
Better. Yes. Better. I actually even wrote that. It was like it says whoa, better? Question mark. Like,
Uh-huh.
like is this better? And I wrote like my mom built a better nest than she had. I built an exceptional nest. I nurtured the fuck out of my kids. My boys came to me broken, eggs that were dropped for adoption, ADHD, sensory issue. I married a workaholic. He's overcome that. We had a pandemic. And I wrote, I probably have undiagnosed, untreated anxiety. Maybe
Yeah.
I've overcome that. I just was like, my kids are walking miracles. They are a fucking catch. And I wrote, Lincoln is lovely. Sawyer's dynamic. I did well. Kevin did well. I am okay.
I am okay. That's at the heart of it too.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm okay. And what I also heard is you're one of many in a long line of women who have created the best nest that they can
Mhm.
with the tools and resources that they have.
Yeah, that's all we're doing
Yeah.
as moms.
Yeah.
You got your mate, you got your babies. Just
Mhm.
make a good nest. That's all you make the best nest you can. It's
Yeah.
only good if you can say, I'm doing it.
I'm doing it and I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, like I'm just there's this nest that gets created in my backyard every year. This I feel this is the same birds.
Okay.
And I just watch them build it and it's so interesting. They just like gather a little piece from this stick here and this little bit of fuzz and and they just build this nest and then they have their offspring and then the little babies get born and then the chick 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 really loud, which babies are really loud always. And then they're off.
Yeah.
And I'm like every year they're like, "Yep, nope, we did it."
Yeah. We
They
did it
fly.
again. It's the next year and the next year and the next year, and it happens over and over and over again. But I wonder if those birds are looking at their nest and they're like, gosh, I have a real shitty nest compared to that bird's.
Yeah, like why do I always pick this dumb broken down pergola thing in this neighborhood, you
My
know?
nest sucks.
Mine just sucks. One
I did
year,
worse.
one year these birds, they built what we called the condominiums because they built like three little ones kind of in the eaves next to each other and I was like, "Oh, they're like branching out." And then they didn't do that again. They like
Oh,
rebuilt it.
the lesson learned. They're like,
Yeah, yeah, lesson
Mhm.
learned.
Exactly.
That's part of it too. You're like, oh, I that's not great. Let's not put that in here.
Gonna do that one.
Yeah,
That was
like
a mistake.
that's how it is when you're building an S. Sometimes you're like, ooh, we added club sports. That was a disaster for our
Whoops.
family.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Let's rewind and readdress.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I don't ever know how to end these. I just it's always I'm like sweaty a little bit because of
Probability
shit.
hangover.
I
Well,
know.
listen, what I heard is that you've felt like shit. You were in a hole. And instead of just, I got to get out of this hole, you allowed yourself to be in the hole and acknowledge that you're in the hole and love yourself in the hole
Mm-hmm.
before using your own tool to help
Mm-hmm.
yourself get out of the hole with love.
Yeah.
Again, love and acceptance, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what, whether you're dealing with the crap or you're not. You're still who you are. And when you're loving yourself through it, that is the goal.
It's actually the ladder that gets you out of the hole, I think.
Ladder. You take the ladder and you get out of the hole and you're sharing your truth and it's uncomfortable. But
Hmm.
somebody's going to hear this and be like, I'm so glad I'm not alone here.
Yeah, we're not. And I do think that existential feeling of motherhood. We love our baby so much and we just want to do it right and we want to do it well. And we get
Yeah.
so scared in the process and we get so scared when it's done. Even it's like, did I do it right? And it's just, is the evidence that they're okay? What is the evidence that you're doing well, that your kids are thriving? Are they healthy? Do they have a couple buddies? Do you have giggles and laughter? It's like we don't need it to be a GPA and a star performer and get the lead in the play and like all of the stuff. Oh, my 2-year-old's already swimming. Who gives a fuck? Like it's not like sure that's cool if that's your thing you did, but like just is did your 2-year-old get out of the pool and go and
Yeah,
giggle? Like then you're doing it right.
exactly. I
Mm.
know. And it's looking for those moments and the evidence through it all that helps you reevaluate and reframe.
Yeah, exactly. Reframe. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to my confession.
I really appreciate you being vulnerable with me
Yeah. And everyone else listening.
and everybody else who decides to listen.
Well, you're a safe place, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Hey, Mama, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, I want to encourage you to do 2 things. The first is go to my website, calmmamacoaching.com, and get a copy of the Stop Yelling cheat sheet. You'll get a step-by-step breakdown of the most important tool I teach, which is the pause break. And you'll also get 40 ideas to reset your body and balance your nervous system so you don't have to yell at your kids. You can get a copy of that again at my website, calmmamacoaching.com/stop yelling. The other thing I'd love for you to do is go to Apple Podcasts and rate and review this podcast so that other moms can discover empowering and helpful, practical parenting strategies just like you did today. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. It means a lot to be in your ear every week and to support you on your parenting journey.